Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the very last episode, part 3 to the Lightfast testing of my very own bargain friendly color pencil set. In this last part, we'll be looking at the watercolor pencil line. And guys, just a bit of recap. Let's recap before we move forward. And first of all, we're looking at the Renoir colored pencils. I have the 72 set, and we have discerned, after we look at all that, that 26% of the Renoir color pencil line is fugitive, meaning that 74% are Lightfast. We also looked at the Square C 600 line that I have the entire set of that, and that was looking at 63%, sorry, were fugitive, making only 30% of that entire line Lightfast. We also looked at the Rafine 7100 pencil line, and we discerned that 47% of that line is fugitive, meaning that 53% of that entire line is Lightfast. And the Milan Big Lid, and according to what I've seen, after only being in the window for about, these two pencil lines have been in the window for about 7 to 8 weeks, we have discerned that 38% of the Milan Big Lid line is fugitive, making only 62% of that entire line Lightfast. So now we're looking at the third part of this, which is the watercolor pencil lines that I have, the bargain friendly ones. And these ones that, you know, they like to boast professionalism, especially the Renoir like to boast it's a professional pencil line. So let's look at it. And guys, I keep saying it, once it comes to the line, let's go in a bit closer. I don't want to keep repeating, because from the time we looked at the Renoir color pencils, the Rafine color pencils, now looking at the Renoir watercolor pencils, guys, there's something up with their reds. Look at that. All colors that would be made from red pigment, their oranges, their violets, their reds, some of their browns, all of them have colors changed in it. I mean, there's something up with their reds. Just look at that. You know, it is amazing, the quality. Let's look at number 56 and number 37. Let's look more at those in detail. And look at that, guys. There's something up with those red. Look at that. Look at that. You see right there? How I did this is I made one mask tone with the pencil itself, and then half of that I pulled the color out to fill in the rest of the block or the swatch area. And you can see that. Look at that. This is the part that was in the locked drawer, and this was the part that was in the window. Again, the part that was in the locked drawer, the part that was in the window, and that red is just gone. Whatever red pigment they use, look at number 4, look at that. Whatever red pigment they use to make this color is very fugitive. Look at that. Even the color pencil tone is gone. Look at that. That's just gone. Another beautiful example is number 56. Wait, let me pull out and pull in back so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Right here. Number 56. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. This part was in the window. This part was in a locked drawer. And look at that. If I would have kept this in the window anymore, there would have not even been a scratch of its mask tone left. Because definitely its swatch out is gone completely. The color next to that doesn't even exist. This is how it originally looked, and this is how it looks after it has been in the window for 7 weeks. So like I said, guys, there is something up with those reds. I would love the Marco company to tell me what red pigment they use, because guys, even though some pigments are Lightfast, there are some red pigments that are characteristically fugitive. So I can't blame the company for using that kind of for that kind of pigment, because there are some pigments that are characteristically fugitives. You also have some dye pigments that are also characteristically fugitive. I would love to know what pigment they use in these to make these color pencils, and it looks like it's a pigment that they use across the pencil line, because all their color pencils exhibit the same characteristics when it comes to their reds or colors that are mixed with reds. Look at that color right there, another color I could definitely say mixed with red, because of the fact that yes, it's a brown, and you know there are some browns that are mixed with red, and I'm thinking this brown here is mixed with a red and maybe a green or so, because I can see a greenish tangent here on the yeah, the greenish. Look at that. It kind of looks like a light olivey green. So I can see that here. So I'm thinking they made this with some kind of green and brown, green and red to make this brown here. So yeah, I've told you that this is the I don't think it's the the Marker Renoir watercolor pencil set comes in the Total Max color pencil set is 100 versus the normal color pencil line, which is 120. Their watercolor version goes only up to 100. I have the 72 set, and of the 72 set, 58.3% are fugitive, making only 42% light fast. So guys, take that as you will. Please be mindful that I usually use these in my coloring book and my sketchbook, so this testing will not affect me greatly. I don't really hang or put these work that I do with these color pencils up on the wall. I will caution you to know that you please be mindful of color shifting if you do decide to put your artwork that you have produced out of this on the wall. Guys, now let's look at the Derwent watercolor pencils. I was here thinking very hard, because I know Derwent makes a intense pencil line that has watercolor properties. I know they make their graphic tin line that have watercolor properties, but I don't know if they have another watercolor pencil line other than the Derwent watercolor pencil, because they no longer produce the Derwent Aquatone pencils, which are their woodless watercolor pencil line. That is no longer being produced. I'm thinking the only pencil line they have with watercolor properties, and I'm excusing the intense one, the only watercolor pencil, true watercolor pencils they have is actually the Derwent watercolor pencils. But guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I know the Derwent Lightfast pencils should not, I can't say does not, but should not have watercolor properties to it. I know that Faber-Castell has a professional watercolor pencil line, which is the Albert Durr. I know that Karen Dosh has their Museum Aquarelle, which is supposed to be their water pencil line, and yeah, but I don't know if Derwent has one. So guys, put it in the comments below. Let me know if Derwent have a professional water pencil line, and something other than the Derwent Intense line. I don't, because that's supposed to mimic Inktense pencils. I know they make it in Derwent watercolor. The Derwent Intense come in pencil form, it comes in block form, and it also comes in watercolor cakes form. But as for watercolor pencils themselves, I don't think Derwent have that, another form of that, professional form of that. But let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm overlooking something, or maybe I don't know about something, okay? Okay, let's not drag this on too long, because I've noticed these videos tend to go beyond 20 minutes. The Derwent one here, we're looking right here. Not much color shifting. Hooray! There's not much color shifting. Only about 16% of these colors had color shifting, and I'm not looking at the reds at all. Believe it or not, it is not the reds. The color shifting primarily happens here. Right here in this purple line here. There's a little color shifting right here. you know. There's one here too. There's some color shifting at the number 18. Let's go in closer on that one. You see what I'm talking about? This is how it's supposed to look. This is how it does look. It's gone. There is color shifting there, you know. There's a little bit of color shifting here too at the number 21. I should really and truly get those color names out. Let me get the colors names out for you. Yeah, we're looking at the cadmium yellow here. There is some shifting because this is how it looked from the lock drawer. And there's a little bit of shifting here. Now as we go along, we're looking at the rose pink. There's some shifting here as well at the rose pink color right here. This is how it's supposed to look, and there's no color here. So you can actually see that there's actually shifting. The next color we're looking at is this one here. Number 26, they call this one light violet. There is some shifting here. Of my 24 set Derwent watercolor pencils I believe the Derwent watercolor pencils comes in a 72 set if I'm not mistaken. 16% of this is fugitive, fugitive. 16% out of 24, pretty good, which makes 83% are, I would consider, very good and Lightfast. That's a great number. And now we're looking at the last of our fugitive line here, the Milan Aquarelle. So let's look at the Milan Aquarelle, the last here. Guys, I should confess that unfortunately the Milan Aquarelle line does not have color names. It doesn't even have color numbers, okay? So what we're looking at here on this last row is actually the last 3 numbers of its barcode, which I notice are different. So I use that as its color code. Okay, so I will confess that. So I cannot tell you what colors these are because the Milan company did not provide names for their Milan Aquarelle lines or color codes. The barcodes, the last 3 numbers of the barcodes was what I used. Okay, so when I'll probably have to call it by number. And off this line, we're looking at it and we're seeing a lot of shifting. Primarily the shifting seemed to be with the swatch, the watercolor effects of these color pencils. Now let's look closely at them. Sorry about that. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that. This is how it looks. You see it lost a little bit of luster in its mask tone, but that watercolor effect is completely gone. You can see it here and here. You can also see it. Look at this one. This one is the only one of the few ones I think, besides its apricot. This one is one of the few ones where the entire color has gone. This apricot is all the way down here. You can see that. And the same thing with the Milan Big Lead. Let me bring it in closer. Where the purple actually turned blue. So there's something, they make this kind of purple out of some color, out of some red that is completely fugitive, because you can see only thing remains is its blue swatch tone. So this part of it is fugitive, is Lightfast, whereas its red form is completely fugitive. So and this is the complete Milan Aquarelle line, because again I contacted the company and they don't make the Aquarelle line higher than 24. And I have the complete 24 set, and of this complete 24 set I can confidently say that 37.5% of it is fugitive, making 62% of this line Lightfast. Okay guys, a bit of recap. We have done Lightfast testing on all my bargain friendly pencils, especially those pencils that like to boast professionalism, like the Marco Raffine 7100, the Marco Renoir pencil line, the Marco Renoir watercolor set, and we have conclusively said that most of them are not Lightfast. The one that surprised me the most was the Milan Big Lead, which had more than 50% of its line Lightfast, 62% to be honest, of Lightfastness, and the and the Milan Aquarelle, which also had 62% of its line Lightfast. But those Marco pencils, and I also mean that for the truck that is passing, are not, you know, their Lightfastness is dwindling. Only the Marco Renoir had a high Lightfast rate, which is 74% across the 72 set line that I have. But then again, that set goes up to 120. So if I would get the 120 set and I do a Lightfast testing, there's a possibility that the Lightfastness of that line would drastically decrease. Now, I'm not saying that these pencils are bad pencils, because I love using them. I use them all the time. I use them in my sketchbook. What I am saying is, guys, if you're going to use them, just keep in mind that a lot of them, a lot of the colors they have, primarily the Marco line pencils, their red is fugitive. And some of their yellows are fugitive. And it's not like they tell you which pencils contain that red pigment. You know, I think that's a closely guarded secret in the color pencil line, that they don't like to tell you what pigments or what combination of pigments their color pencils are made with. So you don't know. And even it's ultramarine blue, you would think, oh, it's PB28, but it is not PB29. Sorry, it is not PB29. It has some red in it because you can actually see when you put it in the window and that red eviscerated, you can see the blue that's left behind. And when you compare it to the blue that you kept away in a dark place, you can see that there's some red in it. So that's what I'm saying, is that there is red. Those red for the Marco pencil line is very fugitive. So please be mindful of them. I would appreciate a pencil company someday that decides to make a pencil line where they actually tells you. They don't have to tell me their pencil making formula, but they actually indicate in some way or form the pigment they use to create the particular colors that they're using in their pencil, or to make some pure pigment pencil, like an ultramarine blue that is actually made from only PB29, or a cadmium yellow that is made only from PY37. So that's what I'm saying, you know. I would love for that to happen someday. Maybe someday, you know, it will happen. Definitely happen, because we're moving into more discovery in this world. And with all that said, guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for just coming along with me, joining me on this journey, discovering these things with me. And guys, just let me know in the comments below, you know, if there's anything that surprised you regarding this color pencil find. If you go back and watch the playlist for the watercolor paints, the first set of watercolor paint line, was there things that surprised you? There's one more to go. We have the second half of the watercolor paints line. I definitely know the Winsor Newton China set is in there. I know the Paul Rubens set is in there, and I know the Artist Gouache set is in there. I don't remember anymore, but there's about 8 or 9 or 7. I don't remember the amount of watercolor paints that I swatched out in that bargain friendly line. So please look out for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey, and as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.